taxpayers in America are going to get a significant check back from the IRS. For example, if you have to pay taxes and you have a good income, you get to deduct $2,000 per dependent, per child. And that comes off the bottom line of your taxes, and you probably still owe more after that's cut off. But for families who in fact don't have that big a tax bill, they don't get anything from this. So we changed the law this year, and it's cutting child poverty by 40%. And here in Wisconsin, by July 15th, we're going to start they're going to be picking up the phone and calling you and say, thanks, God. They're going to get checks from the IRS. Here's what they did. For every child you have under the age of 6, you're going to get $3,600. And for every child under the age over the age of 12, you're going to get $3,000. So you'll actually get a cash payment instead of just a credit against your taxes, because you don't pay that many taxes if you're making the minimum wage, or you're making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. And people say, well, that's a giveaway. Hey guys, I think it's time to give ordinary people a tax break. The wealthy are doing fine. I mean it. I mean it. Why is this not a tax break for working folks when the stuff we give to the super wealthy are called tax breaks? Look, major action on clean energy, housing, caregiving, on child and paid leave, universal pre-K, free community college. The human infrastructure is intertwined with our physical infrastructure. It's going to help us create more good jobs, ease the burden of working families, and strengthen our economy in the long run. And I'm going to be out there making the case for the American people until this job is done, until we bring this bipartisan deal home, until our human infrastructure also needs are met, until we have a fair tax system to pay for all of this. And by the way, what I'm talking about in the family plan, let me tell you how I'm going to pay for it. And the American people in the polling data overwhelmingly support it. If we just raise the corporate tax to 28%, it used to be 35%. It was supposed to come down to 28. It's now 21. You raise it to 28%. You know how much money that raises? $1.4 trillion. If you have a minimum global tax, which we agreed to in Europe, that means so corporations can't avoid paying the taxes at home. That would generate in America $385 billion. If you end deductions for foreign corporations who ship their profits out of the United States, that raises $260 billion in these tax havens. You know, there are 30 corporations in America, the Fortune 500, making billions. I come from the corporate capital of the world, Delaware. Not a joke. More corporations are incorporated in Delaware than all the rest of America combined. Okay? Well, guess what? 15 of the Fortune 500 companies last year paid 30 zero taxes. They made billions of dollars, paid not a penny in tax, not a single cent. I'm not trying to punish anybody. I'm just saying, let's be fair. If you just set up a minimum tax, you had to pay at least 15% of your earnings as a corporation. That alone would raise $230 billion. The point is, I have never had a reputation of being someone who's out there trying to just out-tax people. But here's the deal, folks. I think it's about time there be fairness in taxing. I don't want you paying more than your share. But the tax cut that was passed under Trump for $2 trillion, not a penny of which was paid for, where'd it go? Over 80% of it went to the top 1/4 of 1%. I think you should be able to be a billionaire. I think you should be able to be a millionaire. But for God's sake, at least pay. Pay your fair share. Pay your fair share.